with Dan Stratton. Today we're going to talk about morning rituals, morning habits, and developing those habits so that you can set the course for your day and move things forward. A lot of times what I like to do in order to choose my daily rituals or my daily habits, and of course I've chosen them from a long time ago, I do what I guess coaches call a time management or a time assessment. And what I've done, and I do it pretty regularly, I'll go through my week before and I'll look at how I used my time the week before, and I will ask myself 3 questions. So right now I'm in the middle of watching my grandson a lot. I'm actually at my daughter's house and I get to be with my grandson. To me, that is valuable time. I don't believe in homeschooling, or no, I do believe in homeschooling. I don't believe in sending my grandson or my daughter to daycare. Now, I know some of us have to do that. We don't have a choice, and it's a nice service to have, but I want to have as much influence in my daughter's life and as much influence as I could possibly have in my grandson's life. So having said that, you always have to, when choosing a habit or choosing a ritual and choosing a daily routine, you have to be mission-minded, vision-minded. You have to be core values-minded. You have to know who you are, what you're trying to achieve, and why you're trying to achieve it. So mission, vision, and core values as you decide what your daily habits are going to be. Now, as I said earlier, you want to do a time assessment, a time management. You want to every day write down what you do during that day. For example, I woke up this morning at 6:15 and I went and I got ready, got dressed, got myself, combed my hair, got everything ready, and then I got in the car to come over here to be with Bennett. Not a lot of time to go for a walk, not a lot of time to do push-ups, not a lot of time to do things. So when I talk about daily regimen, when I talk about daily habits, a lot of it is what I think about and what I'm going to do throughout the day, because I can't always just bang out a bunch of tasks right away in the morning unless I want to get up at 4 o'clock or 4:30, and I don't want to get up. I ministered last night at Faith Exchange. I had a meeting with my musicians afterwards, so it just wasn't feasible for me to get up earlier to do a bunch of stuff. So really, I wake up and I begin my thought process. I begin my thinking. So let's come back to the time management piece. So when you do a time management, like for me, I just was describing my morning, and I asked myself 3 questions about what I did. Drive the car, get up, get dressed, and then I came over here. I was with my grandson. I was giving him at 7:15. My son-in-law left for work, and then I started just playing with him and spending time with him, and then I put him down to sleep about 8:15, 8:20, and he'll be up around 9:30, 9:45, and I'll feed him, right? And so I asked myself the question, let's just use this morning. And I always look at it. Productive, I always rate everything I do. Was it productive? Was it necessary? Or was it unnecessary? Productive, necessary, or unnecessary. That's how I assess my time during the time. And the goal is, as I look at how I spend my time, I always ask myself, how can I move from my unnecessary category to the necessary category? And then how do I make the necessary category productive? Necessary, productive. So I asked myself about my commute this morning. My commute was early. So what I did on that time was I prayed to make it productive. If it had been a little later, I would have been able to get on our corporate prayer call to make that half-hour, 40-minute commute here productive. So the idea is to pray. Now, when I pray, I don't focus on my problems. I focus on thanksgiving. I focus on joy. and I get myself encouraged. I know that God is good all the time. I know that He's available to me for counsel. I know that He has put a plan in place, so something good is going to happen to me. But those are all choices. Those are all ritualistic choices. I choose each and every day as part of my morning habit to encourage myself. Something good's going to happen today. We win. Let's play. We're all called to do something great. None of us can do it alone, right? And then I start to become mission oriented. What would I do if I knew I wouldn't fail? Right now I'm working in Cuba, and I just got a really bad report that the Cuban government is starting to inspect our work. We've put in air conditioning, we've beautified the church, we've bought property around the church, and so it's becoming a complex, and the government doesn't understand how these people are able to build when they are doing everything they can. The government is doing everything they can to inhibit that, to stop that, to put obstacles up. But we've been increasing our support for this group. They're very powerful. We're feeding over 500 people a day, and they're being fed, and food is very scarce. All the gas stations are shut down. So when I get up and I go through this stuff and I have on my mind, I ask myself, what one small little thing can I do to encourage Yoel, pastor in Cuba? What small thing can I do today to encourage Stephen, the father of my grandson? What small thing can I do to encourage Anne in her thing? So what would I do if I knew I wouldn't fail? I would support Cuba. I would support the work in the prisons. I would support Stephen. I would support Annie, my wife. I would support, and go right on down the list. So I'm thinking about these things. So then I begin to do what I need to do to be strong enough to do that. So I encourage. I spend time, mindfulness is what they call it on the apps these days, but I spend time reminding myself that God's been good to me, that He has blessed me, that He has positioned me, that He has resourced me, and that He has encouraged me to be a helper of other people. And I got to tell you, if you want to stay encouraged and you want to stay motivated, then get on your list acts of kindness on a daily basis, and then do the work that I'm describing for you, which is the productive, necessary, and unnecessary assessment of your time so that you can become more efficient. You'll develop clarity, you'll develop efficiency, productivity. You'll begin to grow because you won't have as many distractions, you won't have as many inefficiencies, because your thought patterns will be productive, not just necessary. And they'll be less, even unnecessary, because you can use this exercise to even assess your thoughts. When I'm counseling a company or a staff, a team, in team building, when I'm counseling them, I'm always asking them, how do you feel about that? How did that task make you feel? When you were struggling with that client, what were your dominant feelings in that situation? What were you feeling? What were you going through? And why were you feeling it? Were you feeling it because of something else that was going on in your life? Or were you feeling it because it was pertinent to that situation? Pay attention to how you feel. A lot of people don't know that they can decide how they're going to feel about stuff. So I decide at the top of the day that I'm going to have a good day. When somebody attacks me, accuses me, does anything where they want to jump into a confrontation, a toxic confrontation, I don't take it personally, because I've already chosen to be a supporter or a giver or a helper in any situation. I don't have to fight with people at all. My role is to come in and bless. If that person rejects me, tries to disqualify me, tries to degrade me, it doesn't matter to me, because I've already chosen to spend time with God who loves me. And I've already chosen to have a good day. I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to, and I could choose to have a good day because all I'm going to do today is support someone else. All I'm going to do today is bless somebody else. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have to work on myself. Like right now, I've lost about 35 pounds this year so far, and I want to lose another 65. And so I've been working on this. So I have to watch what I eat. So I have to decide in the morning, all right, you got to watch what you eat. And then I have to learn Spanish this year because of my work in Cuba. So I have to put that on my list. But you're not going to be able to sustain that or maintain that if you're not first encouraging yourself on purpose. If you're not first mission-minded, pushing forward the concept of what's my overall goals? What are my overall goals? What is my immediate next doable step? And I always break it down into 6 areas of my life: spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial, which I also believe encompasses our whole life. And so I want to be prosperous in all 6 of those areas. So what can I do as a small doable step today spiritually? Okay, I can pray, like I said, in the car. What can I do physically? I can watch what I eat. I can walk 10,000 steps today. Mentally, I can spend half an hour, 45 minutes reading in an area that I need to come up to speed in, right? Emotionally, what can I do? And this is really about controlling my thoughts, but do something that makes me happy. Spending time with my grandson, playing with my grandson, spending time with you, helping you, interacting with you. You may be going through something, buying a house, moving, whatever it is. Those things are stressful things. You might need some counseling in a relationship. Sometimes I can help with those types of things, and we can address some of that right here on Morning Motivations. So all you got to do is throw out a question, and it would be awesome. So these are the things that I do in the morning on a regular basis. I just totally watch what I'm thinking. So then I go into, after emotional, I go to social, my relationships. Yesterday I spent time with Richard, good friend of mine. He's he's a huge money raiser for a commodities trading fund or a commodities development fund. We were praying together, talking about his children, talking about his vision, talking about how he can help other people. And so I go through my relationships. My dad called me yesterday, so I think about that. My good friend Janine called. I think about that. I worked with my music team last night. I think about that. But I always think about it with the thought process of productive, necessary, unnecessary. How can I put some love into this next interaction with my friends, with the people I care about, so that I can have the greatest impact? So that I can have the greatest impact. So I want you guys to make some comments on this broadcast. I'd love it if you sent me some questions after this, after you've thought about it, so that I can maybe choose a topic from your questions, your comments, and we can flow through it. I hope you begin to tune in every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. We might drop some random motivations. They might even be in the afternoon. We'll still call it morning motivations. But you can join us for that. It's all about my desire, our whole team here, Pierre and Anthony and all the people. Our desire is to bless you. Our desire is to encourage you. Our desire is to see that you're the head and not the tail, above and not beneath, blessed in everything you put your hands to. I want to see you making good decisions. I want to see your reputation restored. I want to see everything about your life becoming joy, joy, joy. Everything you touch prospers. I just am so grateful and so thankful that all that God has given me, that I just spend a lot of my days just thinking about ways that I can give back. And I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm enough people's cup of tea where I'm never bored. and I'm always productive. Have an awesome day. Remember, productive, necessary, unnecessary. Take that which is unnecessary, move it into the necessary category. Make that which is necessary productive by putting love on it. God bless you. Talk to you next week, if not before.